welcome to episode 293 of the Craft House Magic podcast. My name's Ellie and I'm coming to you from Norwich in Norfolk in the UK, and today is the 29th of May, so welcome everybody. Today I've got some lovely things to share with you that I've been up to in the last few weeks. So I've got some knitting, I've got some sewing, a blast from the past which is dressmaking sewing, I've got some confessions. Now I have got a fair few confessions, so watch out for those. I've got a section on what's occurring. We've got a pop-up shop, Barbara's Day out dates, and a couple of giveaway winners to announce. And then we've got the shop update, and then a little appearance from Jensen at the end of the podcast. So let's get to it, shall we? So we'll start with the knitting, and I have a couple of finished things to show you. So this is Nolan. If you did watch the vlog on the woolly retreat, you'll see that I've already finished this last week. I still haven't got round to making any pockets because I thought maybe he needs some pockets there to put his little hands in, but he's very cute. He is a spirally gnome. He's got a spiral hat and a spiral beard. I've done him pretty much to pattern, but I did change the beard a bit, so I used a fingering weight yarn held double with some fluffy alpaca lace weight yarn to do the beard. So the beard has come out a little bit bigger. I think I also did a few extra rounds as well, well not rounds, extra rows, and have made them a little bit on the long side, but I think it adds to his character, so I'm going to keep him how he is. I might actually just give his beard a bit of a spray, just with some water, and just block that beard out a little bit, because it does tend to sort of twist up on its own accord, so perhaps I'll give that a bit of a block, but the rest of it I don't think really needs blocking. But there he is, Nolan, the second gnome from the Gnomes of Grimblewood book I've knitted. So I've got these two now. Jensen loves these, so I might even knit him another one. I'm going to show him the book and see if he does want me to knit him another one and see, and then choose some yarn, I think. So the book Gnomes of Grimblewood is a book by Sarah Shearer, and I can actually show you the page where it's a little bit of a story on Nolan. So this is the book. There's several patterns. I think there's 8 gnomes in total, and this is Nolan in the book. I've done him in yellow and black and grey because Jensen wanted a bee themed gnome, so that's what I've done. And there's a little story about Nolan the swirly gnome. It says, Nolan performs volunteer magic shows at the hospital at weekends. At first they expected he'd only perform to the children's ward, but he convinced them that everyone needs a little magic and a lot of smiles. Isn't that lovely? So there's a little bit of a story to each of the gnomes in the book. So well worth doing if you think you're going to knit a few of those gnomes. There's lots of really nice ones in there, and plus she's got some more patterns as well that are gnomes but different ones that aren't in the book, which I might have to have a go at doing. Right, so my second project that I've got to show you that's finished is my Josie hood or Hosie hood. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but there you go. It's been blocked and it's now massive. I don't know what this is going to look like on. I'm going to try it on and we can see how ridiculous I look, but to be quite honest, it's really cold. I don't really care what I look like as long as I'm nice and cosy. So let's see. Hopefully I don't look too ridiculous though. It would be nice. I've got these ends. Actually, it doesn't look as ridiculous, especially if I sort of have it lower at the front, I think. And there's these eye cords that once I blocked them, actually they went really plump, like it said in the instructions. I do look slightly ridiculous, but not quite as ridiculous as I did before. I'll turn around to show you. But I can imagine this going to be very, very cozy when it's really, really cold. I was a bit worried that this top bit would remain quite square when I'd actually sort of blocked it, but it seems to have blocked out a bit because it's you start off with that panel at the top and then work around it. But that is quite a cosy thing to wear, I think, in the winter, with a big thick coat as well. So you could always just sort of pull that back if you don't want it over your head. Which is nice, so it acts as a scarf at the same time, which is great, isn't it? So it's knitted in an Aran weight yarn, and I've used my Aran weight merino, which is, there's 115 grams in one of the balls for this, and I dyed up 4 skeins of yarn just in case, really, because it said in the pattern that you needed 350 grams of the yarn that's Aran weight, but 180 meters per skein, and the 115 gram skeins that I've got is 190 meters, so I thought I'll most likely use at least some of the 4th skein, and I have actually, but I've only got 102 grams left of a 115 gram cake, so I only just started the last cake, but I still needed it anyway, so that will go towards a pair of mittens or something to go with this. This is knitted in a colourway that was for the colourway of the month for, I think it was April, and it was my Listen to Your Heart colourway. If you look closely, there's little patches of pink and grey, quite a subtle sort of mix. But I'm really pleased with how that's come out, actually. Not quite as ridiculous to look at on me, which is always good. So I am going to be wearing that in the winter months, and that'll be really, really cosy because it's very, very thick. I think the I-cord finish across the top really finishes it off nicely. And when you do the bind off on the bottom, you do the bind off in like a pearl-wise I-cord, which I've not done before, which is quite interesting. It's sort of, you can sort of see it as if it's like garter stitch on the edge because of that reverse I-cord, doing it with the pearl side outwards. And I really enjoy doing some I-cord for the ties. It's come out really, really chunky. I was a bit worried because I think it might have been about 5 stitches that you do for the I-cord, and I was worried that it was going to come out so that there was like a ladder down the one side, but actually once it's blocked you can't see where that one side is at all. It's plumped out really nicely. So that is my second finished object I've got to show you, and I've got a couple of works in progress that I have on the needles. So first of all, I've got my Traveller shell, and this is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. This is going to be a bit difficult to show you at the moment because I've got, if I fold it so that the sort of front and back are together, you should be able to sort of see how it's working up. So that's how the front is. So I've done the 2 front panels, and you can see there's sleeves working up either side, and then I'm working on the back panel. Once I've done that, I've got some grafting to do at the shoulders there, and it'll seem a little bit more like a proper garment. Now this is knitted in my Torn colourway, which is inspired by the Natalie Imbruglia song Torn, and I love this sort of bluey colour. If you look really closely, you can see that there are some green speckles, but because it is knitted in 2 lace weight yarns held double, they're less easy to see because obviously you've got, they're very fine lace weight and they're held together, so it sort of blends a bit more, but you can see the odd little speckliness of green on there. So like I said, I am holding 2 skeins of yarn double. I have this fluffy alpaca lace, and I'm holding that double with a merino, which is a very fine 100% merino yarn, and I'm holding those double. It is a little bit fiddly to work with, but I don't think it's too bad. Where you do have to sort of, anytime you have to undo it, it does make it a little bit more difficult because the yarn is a little bit fluffy, but it seems to be okay when I've had to tink it back a few rows. I've been knitting away, and then I've realised I'm knitting either knit or purl, the opposite to what I'm supposed to be doing. So I've had to unpick a couple of rows, but so far I think I've done it okay, and I'm very much looking forward to getting it to the point where I can actually try it on properly. I think so once I've actually done the 3 needle bind off on the shoulders, I can then sort of try it on, but then I need to do, there's a little cuff on each of the arms, and then I've got to do the neckband, and then of course there's the pockets for the Traveller shell. So the Traveller shell has these diagonal pockets on the front. I'll pop a picture up here of what it's supposed to look like so you can see what it's going to look like in the end, but it does seem very, very squishy and light and lovely. A friend of mine is knitting one in alpaca, silk and cashmere, and once we've both finished ours, she's actually finished hers already, I'll get her to come on and we'll do a bit of a comparison between the two different bases and how it's come out, and chat about what different yarns will get different effects really. So that is my traveller shell. Or what I should say is that I'm knitting the 3rd size, which is actually called size 2, or the 42-inch bust. Now that is way smaller than my real bust, but I tried on a 42-inch one at the little pop-up shop that Hayley from Ducky Darlings had. She'd got a sample knit up in some of her yarns, and that was the 3rd size, which was the 42-inch bust, or the size 2 in the pattern. Andrea's called it size 2. There's a 0, 1 and 2, so it's the 3rd size, or size 2, or a 42-inch bust. And I tried it on. Actually, I thought I really like the fit of this, I'm going to go for it. The person who knitted it as well was a relatively tight knitter, so I believe that it's going to fit me. Fingers crossed anyway. So I've got gauge and I've just sort of put it around my tummy, and I think it's about the width that I anticipated it to be, so I am gonna, fingers crossed, it'll fit me nicely when I've actually finished it. So there we go. I hopefully will have some better update for you next week, where I can actually show you what it looks like on, or Barbara can wear it for you and I can actually show you the sort of fit of it. That's before blocking, and then once I've blocked it you can sort of see the difference. So that is my traveller shell. I've got something else on the needles that I've cast on this week, which is a sock. So on the Tuesday night we've decided, a few of us, to actually cast on a new sock and sort of knit along together, and I've cast on some gorgeous yarn, and this is from the Yarn Badger, and I bought this not this year's East Anglia Yarn Festival, the year before, and the colourway is called Jazz Cafe. I'm loving how this is coming out so far. It's sort of rainbow colours but muted. Love, love, love. So there's some turquoises in there. Don't think the cake really does it justice. What I should have done is taken the time to do a gobstopper ball with this, because it would be worth seeing all the colours really, but I was too excited to get them cast on. So I'm basically doing sort of my simple top down sock, but I might do an afterthought heel for the actual heel part. So I will link details for my simple top down sock and also my afterthought heel for that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit it as long as I think for the length of the cuff and then the length of the foot, and then do the actual toe decreases in the contrast colour, which is this one. And then I'll go back in and do the afterthought heel in this colour as well, because if it's a self-striping yarn, if I do a heel flap and gusset, I find that on the top of the foot there's obviously more stitches before you decrease down, and the stripes are a different size, so that's why I might do that. And I don't mind doing an afterthought heel, they're a bit of fun as well. I'll leave a link to the tutorial I've got for the afterthought heel, and I've actually got a tutorial where I do a whole sock tube and split that into some pairs of socks if you're interested in that as well. But I do quite like if you cast on the cuff, knit the foot and leg all together, and then do the toe, and then just cut into the afterthought heel. I find that you've got a little bit less cutting in to do, and then you can sort of cut in the afterthought heel wherever you need for the person that you're going to then fit it to. So you could knit the actual sock tube not knowing the size or length of the foot that you need for the person that you're going to gift them to. So that's always handy, but I love it. Very, very pretty. Love these turquoises especially, and this very olivey green that is just starting. It looks like that there is a navy and it goes back to sort of reddy pinks before it goes back to this burgundy colour. So I haven't gone through all of the colours yet, so that is exciting. So that is the Jazz Cafe yarn by the Yarn Badger, and I bought this a couple of years ago. So that is my other project I've got on the needles. I do actually, my mum has started, well, I cast it on for her, a pair of socks in this West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, but mum's done a lot of this. I just did the cast on. She's been knitting along, and I did actually convince her to do a heel flap herself, because I normally do the heel flap and gusset, but she's been knitting a plain heel flap and she's been managing to do it okay, so I'm really pleased that she's got on okay with that. There was a lot of complaining. Those of you who come to Barbara's Day Out last week will have known what she's like. And my patience was ebbing a little bit. I said, Mum, you're not having him anymore. But she did actually do it on Tuesday night. She managed to do a bit more at the knit night. So that's how far Mum's been getting on with these pair of socks. See if I can find what the colourway is. Here we go. So it's the Sunset Bouquet from the West Yorkshire Spinners. I think it says Zanola Rhodes, but it's difficult to read. I think it says Zanola Rhodes in swirly writing. It's a 4-ply yarn that's made of 75% wool, 25% nylon, and it's in the Sunset Bouquet colourway in 1023. And I picked this up from the East Anglia Yarn Festival, and I thought it'd be nice to get it on the needles quickly. So Mum's been knitting those. I think Adam's going to have this pair, even though he's got loads of socks already. But he's very good at wearing all his hand knitted socks, even when it's not actually that cold, because he gets cold feet. So don't mind doing that for him. Dad is on the naughty corner, because I'll show you what he's done. Look at that. Look at it. There is another hole somewhere that I didn't even see. Is it on the other sock? I found it and I thought, oh, there's 2 holes. Where has it gone? I don't even know where it is now. Oh, maybe I'm losing. Oh, there it is. It's on the foot as well. So I think it looks like it's not worn away. He's broken the thread in 2 places on the same sock. So goodness knows what he's been doing. So we're not knitting any more socks for Dad until he behaves himself, looking after the socks he's got, because he hasn't had that pair very long. So those are on the pile to do, to actually fix. So rather than knitting a whole new pair, I'm hopefully going to fix those, do some darning. I don't mind doing stuff like that, so that's okay. But Dad's still in my bad books for wrecking them socks. All that work me and Mum put in. Anyway. So the next section is sewing, and I have a hat. Ta-da! I have actually worn this quite a lot, even though it is rather a large hat. I quite like wearing it actually. It's very, very useful to have something that really covers my face a lot, my neck and everything. I made this on a little tutorial, stroke vlog video a couple of weeks back. I will show you, I'll leave a link to it in the description bar down below. But it's made of the Fat Quarter Pack for this month. And I've done it so that I've got a striped section all around the front. And then I've used one fabric for the top and the brim, and then I've used another fabric for underneath the brim, and then a different fabric for inside. So the reason why I've obviously patchworked that is because you haven't got quite enough to make this hat using a fat quarter set, but because I've then done this patchwork section around the top of the hat, then I've been able to get it out of a fat quarter bundle. It is a bit sort of crumpled a bit because I have had it folded up in my bag, but I really don't mind that at all. That's what it's for. It's supposed to be in your summer bag, taking it out, keeping the sun off your face when you're sitting in the sun. So very, very useful. So this is a pattern by Heather Handmade, and it is a free pattern if you subscribe to her email list. I found with this one that it did come up a little bit on the big side. I think the size that I chose was like a 26-inch head, and my head is 24 inches, and I sized up so that I could get my ponytail in it. And also I thought I can't be as small because my head is quite a large head, so I decided to do the medium size, and it does indeed fit my ponytail, but I could probably have got away with being a little bit tighter. But to be honest, it's really comfortable not to be too tight, because whenever I've bought hats in the past like this style, they've always been too tight around my head, the ladies sort of version. So well worth sewing one yourself. I used a combination of medium weight interfacing and lightweight interfacing, because I ran out of the medium weight, and then the one at my local fabric shop was only lightweight, so I did interfacing on the top layer medium, same as the sides and the inside, the top of the inside, and then you're supposed to put interfacing on the underside of the brim as well, and that's where I put the lighter weight one. But if you want to see the full video of how I made this, I'll put up a link in the description bar down below, and it'll be a couple of videos back if you go on my sort of videos list. But very much fun to make. I want to make one for Adam and Jensen as well, and Adam's got some ideas that he wants me to make themed ones for Jensen, but I think I'll have to make one for him to match as well, don't you? So that's what I've been sewing. I thought I'd do a little bit of blast from the past, actually, of what I've actually got on. So I'll stand up, see if I can get most of it into the picture. I am wearing the Skye dress from Tilly and the Buttons, and it is quite a summery dress with pockets. It's got some gathers under the bust. It's quite a nice loose fitting one with some ties at the back that you have into the side seams. It's got quite a square neckline, and you have the option to add these ties on the shoulders. I don't wear it very often. I think it's because I don't love this square neckline, and I would prefer the pockets to be sort of tethered into this seam line here rather than just hanging, because it weighs down if you've got anything that's quite heavy like your phone. It just goes to knee length, this particular one, but I think the pattern instructions do have a full length version as well. So this one is something I actually need to wear more, but I want to make another version where the pockets are tethered to this seam line here, just on the inside, and perhaps where I've rounded the neckline out a little bit, because I'm not as keen on that shape. I haven't got many tops that I think go very well underneath. I think this looks okay, but I think it would look better sort of with a black one under this. This is the Gable top by Jennifer Lauren Handmade, and I've made this in a viscose jersey fabric. I think the original pattern is either a long sleeve or a 3/4 length sleeve, and I've just done it a short one because I only had a metre of this fabric, and I wanted to try out the pattern before I sort of made it out of more expensive fabrics. But I need to make more of these sort of high neck tops so that I can wear sort of dresses over them, because I don't really feel comfortable in strappy dresses, but it's nice to wear them as sort of a pinafore over the top of a t-shirt or something like that. So need more high neck tops so that I can wear them together. So that is my blast from the past. Oh, I forgot to say, actually, I think both of these fabrics were from Rainbow Fabrics. Actually, you can get some quite good quality fabrics. I'm now going to talk about my confessions. Right, oh dear. I did not mean to buy any more fabric, but I saw this and I thought, because it's a charity, I feel less guilty. So I'm going to blame it on my friend Jo, who's up in Scotland, and she sent me a message about this Instagram account called D-Stash for Palestine. I'll leave a link in the description bar down below so you can find it. So they sell people's stash for money, and then some of that money goes to the charity, which goes towards Gaza. So great cause. So I thought, well, I've got to buy it, haven't I? And I don't really need any more stash, but good cause, so I purchased this for myself. So I think there's 2 meters of this, and this is a cotton jersey fabric, which is leopard print but pink. It sort of looks like a galaxy behind it as well. So I thought, oh, I need that. I was thinking pyjamas when I first saw this, but we shall see. Not sure, but that is quite a nice, relatively sort of medium weight single weight jersey, which is on the other side. You can't see the sort of print, but it looks like it stretches quite a lot without changing the print too much. So that is going to be some lovely pyjamas, I think. Maybe I should do some shorter or 3/4 length pyjamas out of this. This one was also on the same seller's post on the D-Stash for Palestine Instagram account, and I just thought, oh my goodness, butterflies and pink, absolutely gorgeous. So this is a French terry 2 meters of this as well, and I just thought, I need it. I'm not quite sure whether to make this into pyjamas again, because it's quite pale against my skin, or one of the Zadie dresses, because I love those butterflies so much. I might have to prance around a bit in front of the mirror and decide whether I'm going to be able to pull it off. We shall see. I am definitely going to enjoy wearing it, whatever I'm going to make, but if it isn't a dress, it'll be a pair of pyjamas as well, because you want to be wearing your favourite fabrics in bed as well, don't you? So there we go. That was some purchases I didn't really need, and it's not like these are a small purchase either. I've got to store these in my very, very full fabric stash cupboard, so I'll have to cut them out very, very soon so that it isn't taking up space. So that was what I purchased fabric wise, so that was a bit naughty. Oh, I forgot to say actually, the lady I purchased them from, I did ask if I could mention her name, and her name's So Lucy Rose on Instagram, and she's got some lovely pictures of what she's been wearing in May. So if you're into dressmaking or anything, give her a follow over on Instagram. So yes, I am very pleased with those. Next purchase. Bit naughty again, but I have subscribed to the whole year of Helen from Giddy Yarns' minis, and this is the April set. So this is the Sweet Shop Mini Club. Obviously, because it's April's, everyone should have had theirs ages ago, so I am going to show them. I think I've had a dispatch notification from Helen from Giddy Yarns with my May set, but I'll make sure that I don't show it too early so that you guys don't get any spoilers. Aren't they gorgeous? Really lovely, light, bright colours, and I think they're going to be a blanket, but I haven't decided 100% yet what I'm going to do with it. I am going to put them all together though, because Helen's Sweet Shop minis are all sort of designed to go together as a project, so that is what I'm going to do, and I love them. Right, I've buried my next thing I'm going to show you. Where is it? So my next purchase are these. Hopefully I can show you these all at once really, but there's some lovely cakes from Chapelview Crafts in the form of progress keepers or stitch markers, whatever you might use them for. I bought the in the form of lobster clasps sort of progress keepers, these ones. You could potentially use these stitch markers or progress keepers, so I thought these were rather lovely, so I have had to top up my stash of Chapelview Crafts stitch markers. I will have to show you my collection at some point because I have rather a lot, but we've got a Black Forest Gatto, I've got a little pecan pastry, I've got a slice of pink cake with some flowers on it, I've got a Battenberg slice, it's a little bit like a vanilla slice but Battenberg, and then we've got an apple turnover. So oops, so I had to have those, treat myself. Also, these only take a small space to actually store them because my craft room is actually popping at the seams at the moment, so we need to use some stuff up. So there we go, that is my naughty purchases. And what I'm failing to mention is that I did purchase quite a bit from the Lay Family Yarn Retreat. Which I did, I kept my sort of haul from that, from Kelly and Nick, to the Lay Family Yarn Retreat video, which I put up last week. So if you want to see what I purchased from there as well, head over to that video to catch up on what we've got up to there. It was loads and loads of fun, so I definitely recommend going on one. So that is my confessions. Thankfully that is all. And I do have some information in the what's occurring section. So I am doing a pop-up shop in Venetia's yarn shop in Fakenham on August the 9th, 11 o'clock in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. So please pop by and come and see us. I haven't done a pop-up shop since last year, so that'll be really exciting to have another go at a pop-up. And we have the Barbara's Day Out. The next one is Sunday, June the 22nd at the George in Swaffham. That's 1 till 4 p.m. If you are coming to this one, just drop me a message to let me know, because I need to know rough numbers for me to, so I can tell the venue roughly how many of us are going. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit out the numbers, but I do need to know roughly how many people are going, so that they've got an idea of how many sort of teas and coffees they're going to be. So hopefully see you there. We have the weekly meetup every Tuesday at 7:30 in the Bull Pub in Helston, and that's me and Sam Rayner organise that. She's got a YouTube channel and Instagram, the same name, Sam Rayner. I think she's Sam Rayner 88 on Instagram if you want to find her. So you can just turn up on a Tuesday, come and say hello. We normally sit in the bay window in the front of the pub, if you're worried about sort of finding us, but we're normally in the front and we're quite loud. So it'll be lovely to see you. We have a couple of giveaway winners. Now last week on the Lay Family Yarn video, I did a sort of giveaway for a mini set, which is behind me here, which is this one. So I'm going to give away this mini set. What I asked you to do is to come up with a name for my yarn that I dyed at the Lay Family Yarn Retreat. And so many really good suggestions. Thank you ever so much. But I thought, just to make it fair, I'll draw a random comment picker comment from that video for the winner. So I did a random comment picker, and the winner is Julie Maduria. I don't know if we have to pronounce it, but Julie Maduria, R6Y, and I'll pop a picture up here of the actual profile name that's come up as a comment, and you suggested Stunning Shropshire. So what a wonderful name. Thank you so much, Julie. If you could email me on ellie@crafthousemagik.co.uk with your full name and postal address, so I can get these sent over to you. I'm now shipping international everywhere, so no problem as to whether you're wherever you are in the world. I'll get this over to you. I also have another winner to draw for the Denim and Daisies kit. So this was a lovely kit put together by Woolen Women Fibres, and we did a collaboration where they had my buttercup sock pattern to go with this little kit, so they gave me one to give away. So if you put a comment on episode 290, you could be the winner. So I'm now going to draw the prize. I again used random comment picker to pick another random name, and the winner is Sharon Sutcliffe. So thank you so much, Sharon. What I need you to do is again email me on ellie@crafthousemagik.co.uk with your full name and postal address. So don't forget, Sharon, all I need you to do is to email me on ellie@crafthousemagik.co.uk with your full name and postal address, so I can send this to you. Again, if I ask you for anything other than your full name and postal address, that is not me. I will not ask you to pay for postage. And if you want to check what my email address is, I'll also put in the description bar down below, so you can copy and paste it. A bit easier to write out than writing it out. So thank you so much, everybody who sort of enters into these little giveaways that I've been doing. I'm going to hopefully do one at least once a month. So we also have one last giveaway to give away. So for the May colourways of the month, which were these ones, which have already been shipped out. You can't get hold of these any longer, but I have drawn a prize from my subscriber giveaway winner that I do every month. And the winner is Tasmin from Cambridge. So if your name is Tasmin and you're from Cambridge, check your emails. You should have an email from me, from ellie@crafthousemagik.co.uk. These are the colourways that were inspired by the song I'm a Believer by the Monkees. So these will be heading their way over to you. I just need you, Tasmin, to just confirm the first line of your address, because I do have your address because you have ordered something before. But there we go. Congratulations, everybody. So now we're on to the shopper update section. So EU postage I've now reinstated in my shop. I've now paid money to an interim person in the EU so I can ship internationally to all of the EU countries and Northern Ireland as well. So now I can ship all over the world. So wherever you are, I can ship to you. The yarn advent calendars for 2025, which are the themes Dragon's Trove and the Dragonfly Advents, are going to be available until Saturday at midnight. So that's just till the end of this month for pre-order. There will be a small selection of these up in August, but at the moment I've got free postage on all of the advents, but if they're not above the threshold for your country for free postage, then they won't be free in August. So if you want yours with free postage, I'd get yours now. They're only going to be open for a week in August as well. So if you don't fill your cart up to the threshold amount, so if you're in the UK, it'll be, if you spend £75 you get free postage, but if you're in the US, Canada and Europe, you have to spend £100, and then £160 where everywhere else. So if you're not spending that much and you want to get an advent and not pay the postage, I'd get it before the end of the day on Saturday. Again, the Dragon's Trove Advent theme is for the 24-day advent and for the 4 weekly advent. Those are individually wrapped yarns with some little extras. There are more extras in the 24-day advent compared to the 4 weekly advent. You've got there's a pattern with the 24-day as well, and a little sewing kit and lots of other bits and bobs that are sort of dragon themed. With the 4 weekly one, I've done less sort of little bits and bobs, so that you've got a sort of a more cost-effective choice as well. But you have got the 10 grams and 20 grams when it comes to the 24-day. Same again with the Dragonfly Advents. You've got the 12-day Advent with that one. And with the Dragonfly theme, there's also an alternative where you've got a project bag, sock set, sock pattern with that theme as well. But if you want to see more details, I'll pop a link to the listings on my website and you can check those out. The listings will be open until midnight on Saturday the 31st of May. I will leave another page which is just a general overview of Advents, just so that you can see the information in the meantime before that second lot in August. But do remember that the postage won't necessarily be free if you don't go over the threshold if you buy them later in the year. And there are some payment plans open for these ones that are available to the end of this month as well, although you'll pay one initial payment and then another payment on the 1st of June, July and August. So the first 2 payments will be quite close together now if you've left it quite late. Anyway, those are available just until the end of the month, and then obviously there'll be the second batch, but you might have to pay postage on those. We have the June colourways of the month that are inspired by the song La Isla Bonita by Madonna. So I will talk about the colours. So La Isla Bonita is the main colourway, is named after the actual title of the song, and it's some muted oranges with speckles of blues and oranges in there, and it sort of depicts a Spanish beautiful beachside. So we've got La Isla Bonita, and then the next colourway is the more slightly orangier colour with the same sort of speckles in, called Tropical the Island Breeze, and then All of Nature Wild and Free is the more natural sort of beige grey colourway, tonal. And then we've got This Is Where I Long to Be, which is grey and turquoise variegated yarn. And then we've got the Spanish Lullaby, which is a turquoise tonal with some green speckles, green and turquoise speckles on there as well. So that is the colourways for June. They will be available for pre-order until June the 8th, and then those will be shipped on June the 13th. So you will be able to purchase full skeins separately of each of the colours if you wanted to. So you could choose a 100-gram skein of This Is Where I Long to Be, for instance, or whichever the other colours. You could have a 100-gram skein. You could choose a sock set, which will be a La Isla Bonita for the main colour, and then Spanish Lullaby for the contrast mini, or there's the shawl sets of the same 2 colours as well. Or you could actually, if you leave me a note, I can put whichever colours you want for the shawl set together. And also you can buy those mini sets and maxi sets as well. So when I say maxi set, you can buy 50-gram or 100-gram skeins of the full set in those listings. So that is all I've got to chat to you about my shop update. But I have actually been recently popping in quite a few extra mini sets in there, and yarns that I actually dyed up for the East Anglia Yarn Festival. So the shop is pretty full at the moment if you want to go and take a look of stuff that's ready to order. I will be taking down the blues and greens set of yarns that I'd got on my website that I'd got as dyed to order. So those will be taken down on Monday morning, and I'll have a new set of yarns later in the week next week that can be dyed to order. So I'm going to do a small selection at a time, so the next set will be out next week. So now it's over to you, Jensen.
So what do you think, Jensen, of your gnomes?
Like them.
Which one's your favourite?
One.
Why is it your favourite?
How are yours?
That one's mine, is he? Oh, I'll have this one then. They can play together, can't they? What do you like about this one?
The yellow on it.
Yeah. What do you think you want to call him?
Mummy.
Mummy!
Yeah.
That's not a very original name. My name's Mummy. What do you think?
My queen Mummy.
Oh, okay. We'll call him Mummy then. Can you say bye-bye to everybody?
Bye-bye.
Oh, we got a cough.
Bye-bye.
So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed and want to see more. And if you've got to the end, can you pop me an emoji in the comments down below of a beach scene or a sunshine or something like that. If you don't know how to do emojis, just write it in words, just so that I know that you've watched to the end. So see you next time. Bye.